do these posters, and they put their hands in paint and they stick their hands on the poster. And she wrote this, it was Father's Day, "Dear Dad," and of course they helped them write this stuff, but it was in painting. "I really love you, I hope you get well." Two little hands. She knew I was sick. She didn't know why. And I didn't know why. Nobody knew why.
When we were first married, I couldn't touch Angela's face or run my fingers down her spine. I've always been very proud of how she handled all that pain.
It's just hard to even imagine, let alone even think you're going to live through it, because it's just pain. I mean, you ought to be able to take care of that. But trigeminal neuralgia is set to kill you.
When I got sick, and I might as well tell you that story right now. You asked me why I'm impassioned. I'm impassioned because I probably wouldn't be sitting in front of you today if it weren't for upper cervical. I literally got to a point in my life where I suffered so badly, and it's hard, I think, as a human being to say to yourself that if I got to live like this for 5 more years, I don't want to live.
Did you know that countless patients have had their health restored from upper cervical care? Every breath you breathe, every heartbeat, wiggling of your fingers, to eyesight, to emotional feelings, to energy, to pain, to disease, even depression, is controlled by your massive computer system, your brainstem. Your brainstem is located at the top of your neck in the donut hole space running from your brain to your body. The strength of your immune system and your capacity to fight off illness is all regulated by the brainstem. We could not sleep, eat, talk, think, or survive without our computer system.
Kevin Broom.
Shantria Harris.
Dr. Cliff Drury.
I was diagnosed with Meniere's disease in 5th grade.
I'm Lori DeGroat. I used to get migraines since I was 7.
Been practicing successfully for 18 years.
Edward Weller.
I had severe sciatic pain down my right leg.
Bobby Goodman.
And I've been diagnosed with chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia.
Growing up, I developed an irritable bowel.
Growing up as a child, I always was diagnosed with a lazy eye.
Melissa Barnett.
Had that for 7 years.
And I get really emotional about it.
Yeah, I suffer from migraines.
1976, I was in a head-on collision.
I had sciatic pain.
I couldn't get out of bed, could not walk.
And I suffered for many, many years. Lower back pain.
Every time after I ate, I just have tremendous stomach pain.
It's hard. It's very, very hard because it's almost a hopeless feeling.
Every day worrying if you're going to make it through the day.
An intense, excruciating, burning pain.
Describe how brain health and healing messages leave the brain by way of the brain stem, pass through the neck, down the spinal cord, out over the entire nervous system to all parts of the body. These messages control everything that goes on in the body. These messages also direct all body healing. Explain how they can develop head tilt and how head-neck misalignment can cause interference at the point where the head and neck join and prevent the brain from sending its healing messages to the body. Explain when the weight of the head is moved off the center of the top of the neck because of head tilt. The rest of the body will begin to compensate for that shift of weight. One shoulder will come down, a hip is brought up, bringing a leg up with it, creating body imbalance.
Some people have big bones and little nerves, and most of their problems are going to be structural. Some people have bigger nerves and littler bones, and they're going to have all kinds of neurological and functional complications without the structural. And some people have a combination of both, and the problems will be go in both directions. We make that correction on the spine and open that nervous system, and the life starts coming back in that body. All of a sudden, they're bigger than the pain is. And it's easy to handle when you're bigger than it is. It's hard to handle when the pain's bigger than you are. Really hard to handle.
So I drove home. About halfway up the freeway, the ringing in my ears just stopped. And I was actually listening because I was thinking something's not right, because I got the car noises, right, the rubber on the concrete. And I could hear everything. And the ringing stopped. And my back's feeling much more relaxed. I don't have any pain, and tingling stopping. And I got home and I ate something, and it was hardly in. I still had a bit of pain, but there wasn't excruciating pain. It wasn't driving me over. But I was very careful not to use the jaw too much. But I was so happy that I picked up my daughter, Holly. We danced. I had like this until, I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And then she was asleep. I took her up to bed, put her down, and I crashed out. And I don't know, I think it was 12 hours, 15 hours, I'm not quite sure. It was a long time. And I woke up and I felt I was a 21-year-old again. And I'm looking in the mirror, and my head's not like this anymore, it's like this.
I think the most frustrating thing is probably a lack of awareness on the part of the public about what's available. In my world, I consider 3 enemies of progress: ignorance, which is just not knowing; prejudice, which is believing something that isn't true; and superstition, which is something that would keep you from investigating something that might really help you. And so I think the frustrating thing for me within the framework of what I do is the lack of awareness on the part of people in our culture. It's also that in healthcare there are 2 different ideas that most people don't know that they're available. But on the one side, it says you're fundamentally flawed. You're going to have things go wrong with you during the course of your life you're not going to recover from or get over. You're not smart enough to make your own decisions, so we need to be making them for you. Okay? On the other side of that picture, it says you come fundamentally perfect, and you have the ability to heal and recover from almost everything and adapt to anything you can't heal and recover from, that I'm going to empower you to make your own decisions because you're the only one that knows what's true to you ultimately, right? And so this is called intervention. This is called non-interference. Real simple ideas. Now, if I got a cavity in a tooth, I need an intervention, okay? But for health in general, I need to find out what's keeping my life from working and get that out of my life.